Hello and welcome to our beloved parishioners. I'm Bailee.
I'm Ashley.
And this is Praise Be to Pod. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bailee, what's on your heart today?
Okay, so something just happened. And I think that everyone in the room knows specifically what just happened. And so if you're sensing that something feels a little bit off about this episode, it's probably because of the thing that just happened. So anyway, I'm going to share what happened. So I came into the studio today and I was informed by Jacob that there is allegedly a haunted photograph in the dumpster outside of the studio that's framed. And they found it. Did you find it or did someone else find it?
I found it when I was just walking out there earlier to throw something away. And I saw it and I was like, this is hilarious because I know Bailey's going to freak out about it.
I was like, put it on our set and see if she notices. And Gabe was like, that's not allowed in our studio.
I wasn't about to bring a ghost in here.
No, yeah, exactly.
That'd be fun. But
It's not that kind. And okay, let me explain. So on the photograph is a sticky note that says negative juju, beware.
we'll put a picture up.
Yes, we will. So I'm assuming that somebody has had some issues with the other side while they had that photo in their possession and they're trying to get rid of it. And so Jacob told me about that, knowing that I love ghosts and that I can't help but not go see it. So anyway, I went over and I saw it and it's weird.
It's like a real old-timey photo of family.
Mean, which is aesthetically strange. Or not strange, but just there's an eeriness to it. So it's hard to tell what is eerie about it. Is there actual negative energy? But when I was recording a video of it, the camera did kind of glitch a little bit. So I'm just saying, I'm feeling really weird about it. Maybe I shouldn't have gone to see it. I'm just like thinking about that.
What about your Slavic birthright?
But that's only for Slavic black magic.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Maybe they were Slavic.
I don't think that they were. They looked English to me. Anyway, what's on your heart?
Nothing good.
Okay.
I'm not in a good place.
Okay.
I'm on month 3 of being unemployed.
Yeah.
One of the projects that I put on myself to do while I was unemployed is rearranging our basement.
Mm-hmm. The haunted basement.
The haunted basement. So today I was finishing up, threw my back out. Having a hard time walking. I also got 2 rejections from jobs I was hoping for, including my backup job.
Yeah.
Which I only interviewed for 2 days ago and already got the rejection.
Yeah.
So it's not going great.
Yeah.
And I'm losing all hope.
I'm really sorry.
Thank you.
That's genuinely really tough. The job market is really bad right now.
It's abysmal.
It's abysmal. And there's a lot of really amazing people right now who are struggling, and you're one of them. And I'm really sorry.
Here's what will happen in every interview. I have so many skills, like way more than a normal person should have. And they'll be like, oh, do you know this really niche software that only our company uses? And it's like, no, but I've learned every other software every company's ever used.
Nobody knows that software unless you've worked here.
And they're like, well, you have to have already had 3 years experience with ad management in this software. So sorry, we found someone with other qualifications.
I know.
Or I'll think the interview went really well.
That's the one that... And
it did.
And they'll like ghost you too sometimes.
I've had so many interviews. No jobs.
Yeah. I'm really sorry. That's like not easy.
So not an upper, but I really want a job so that I can finally go blonde again.
Yeah, I understand.
It's very expensive.
Yeah.
So I need a job.
I understand. You know the thing about blonde because I just spent like a really long time ranting about how I'm sick of being a honey blonde and how I really want to go back to platinum.
Yeah, so you can look slutty.
I want to look like a cheap whore. Like
Yeah.
I want to look trailer trash like I used to be.
Same.
That's when I was at my best self. That's when I was fully embodied. This old money look is not for me. I don't like it. It has taken the light out of my eyes. I look at I don't know who I am. When I look at myself, I've lost all of like the color and life and will to live behind my eyes. And I think that if I get cheap platinum roots again, it'll be fine.
Exactly. I feel like I'm pre-Minnesota Ashley.
Yeah.
Because I moved to Minnesota blonde. And then I had to go to dark because it was too expensive.
Yeah.
And my hairstylist moved to Chicago. Guess what? She moved back. So I really need to get a job for her so I can support Mia.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, I'm excited for us to go back to our normal blonde.
Yes.
That'll be a fun journey for us.
So if you could support the podcast by subscribing to our Patreon.
That's actually a really clever segue.
There will be something to live for again. Thank you.
Jesus.
Thank you. Okay, really quick. You know that part of A Walk to Remember where that mean bully says to Jamie Sullivan, "Nice sweater," and she goes, "Thank you." Every time I say thank you like that, I think of that scene in the movie. Thank you.
Oh, by the way, sneak peek. Speaking of movies, Bailee and I are going to review Twilight this week.
Yep.
And put it on the Patreon for our quarter one movie review.
I didn't even know that.
Jacob seems so excited about it. He just went, Ashley, do you have anything to trust and obey?
If you are dealing with endless depression, I would suggest getting weed drinks from your local dispensary so you can sleep at night.
Do you enjoy those?
Only to sleep.
I always experience psychosis on them.
Yeah, I drink them and then go straight to sleep.
Okay.
And then I sleep through the night.
Okay.
It's the only reason. And my back hurts, so I was going to do that.
Okay.
So I could sleep.
I do like the flavor of them, I will say, but they just are a little too wonky for me.
Sometimes they're disgusting and sometimes they're great.
Yeah.
You never know.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. What's like the milligram amount would you recommend for a pre-going to bed beverage?
To not be in a psychosis, 5 for me
Oh,
is
okay.
enough. But to really
I could have a
send it
5, I
home and
think.
like wake up with like a little bit of an hallucination, a 10.
Oh, okay. Wow. Thank you.
It's more like I don't know where I am and will I fall through the floor?
Okay. Yep. I understand.
That happens to be on 10 milligrams.
Okay. It's amazing how much more like for edibles I could take when I was in college and have the best time. And then something switched where now when I have an edible, I literally have the worst time of my life. It's so awful.
It could be the strain too. Like
It's
I know what they sell in Minnesota is like not normal.
I mean, maybe, but this is I was consistently smoking and having edibles when I was in college, and it was just stuff from wherever, and it was all great. And then I think once my mid-20s hit, no matter where, it's just not for me anymore. But this is not uncommon. I feel like
No.
I've heard of this happening to people where it just switches and impacts them differently.
I wish I had like an easier time so I could do it when I'm not asleep.
Right.
That's not great for me.
Yeah.
What about you? Anything to trust and obey?
I do. So in the spirit of our topic today, I have a book that I'd like to recommend. So every Lent, I read the book This Here Flesh by Cole Arthur Riley. She is this great author and poet who founded the organization Black Liturgies, which is like Black spirituality and like liberation theology. And so she has a couple beautiful books that she wrote. One is called Black Liturgies, and then the one I'm reading regularly is This Here Flesh, which is like a contemplative work that she also, so she has a Patreon too that I highly recommend subscribing to, that she creates resources and materials to follow the different stages of Lent, and they're like contemplative pieces, and it's really beautiful, and it's a really great way to mark the season. So anyway, that's what I would recommend.
What's liberation theology mean?
So liberation theology came out of like the abolition of slavery. And so it's basically like obviously Christianity was forced on Black people. But when that was kind of, I don't want to say co-optive, but when they took that and changed it into like hymnals of like liberation, the songs that they would sing when they would be working in the fields. And then obviously like the pastoral work that came out of that became a different denomination or wave of Christianity called liberation theology. And it also eventually paved way for the Azusa Street revivals.
Okay.
Yeah, that we talked about in one of our earlier spiritual gifts episodes.
Cool.
Anyway, I'm sure that there's a better definition for that. I wasn't planning on giving a
Sorry.
definition to liberation theology, So I'm sure there's a better one. That's okay, but that's just like the general
Yeah.
kind of base level one
I don't know
would
if
give.
it was more expansive than.
It probably is. A great liberation theology like starter book is The Cross and the Lynching Tree by an author, and I don't remember his name right now. That was my first introduction to it, if anyone would be interested in learning more about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Our topic today is very timely. It is Lent.
Yes.
And as someone who practices Lent, do you want to bring us into the topic?
I certainly can. Okay, so evangelicals have a very odd and sometimes even non-existent relationship with Lent. A lot of people who grew up or have a background in evangelical Christianity probably didn't even practice Lent. It was a little bit too liturgical for how I think modern and hip the evangelical church wanted to be. So we were a little bit more deep V-necks and electric guitars than stained glass windows, if you know what I mean. So Lent, for I'm sure many of you that know, is a period of time in the church calendar that starts on Wednesday or Ash Wednesday, and then it goes till Easter, but also Good Friday is a really big part of it. But it basically is a time for self-reflection and giving up some type of thing that can help you get closer to God or strengthen your relationship with the divine. And there's just like a lot of introspection during that period of time. And so there are a lot of elements of that I think are still found in evangelical culture, even though we may not have specifically observed. I want to say celebrated, but I guess observed is probably a better word to describe it.
I feel like evangelicals almost saw it as like too Catholic.
Yeah,
they really want to separate themselves from the Catholics.
Yes. And did you hear this a lot? That like this is a really common evangelical cliche. It's not about religion; it's about a relationship.
Oh, totally.
That they always say that
like too religious.
There's
Lent
too
was
religious. Yes. Or they would talk about my mom would always say this. I hate religion, and I'm like, and I think that they thought that they were different because they had a born again experience.
Yeah.
But I think that they thought they were doing the thing where they're like, oh, it's not about the law, like
Right.
in the like the Pharisees. It's about like the heart transformation and your relationship with God. So I think that anything that seemed like high church liturgical practice, sacramental, is like even communion wasn't really taken that seriously. It was very informal.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's I think a lot of evangelicals might have a weird, almost off-putting relationship with liturgical practices.
Yeah, and I feel like evangelical pastors have tried to bring it back because they know it's like trendy.
I think so.
But they don't want to like bring in too many of the practices in it, and that's kind of the best part.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, I also think that a lot of like former evangelicals who deconstructed and are in the church again miss a lot of the liturgy because they didn't get to experience it. So I've even talked to my mom about this, where I think she's a little confused as to why I like to practice Lent now, or even just like the church I go to is in like an old building with beautiful stained glass windows. She almost has like a visceral reaction to that kind of stuff. That being said, she had a very traumatic growing up experience in like a very oppressive Catholic environment. So I think that she associates Catholicism and old high church stuff with religious trauma. But she repackaged it back to me in a new hip modern way. But I love that stuff now because I think it's just not what I grew up with. So it feels very novel. And it helps me feel connected to church history and the tradition. So, yeah. But anyway, did you experience or practice Lent at all growing up? Was that something that was around you?
Okay, I remember like I grew up in Minnesota, so a lot of my friends were Lutheran.
Yep.
And
Same here.
they would go to these services. They would do Ash Wednesday service and then Maundy Thursday service, which is like the Last Supper.
Oh.
And then a Good Friday and then Easter. And I was always like, oh, I'm so jealous of all these. Like, you get to go to more church than me. I thought no one got to go to more church than me.
What was the Last Supper day?
Maundy Thursday.
Oh, see, we just called that Passover.
So it's Thursday, Friday, Sunday.
Okay.
The week of Easter.
Interesting. I have not heard that before, which is kind of wild.
And I always thought it was Monday, Thursday. It's Monday.
Monday.
I don't remember why. So I was jealous of them for that because I thought I was the church girl. But then they had more church than me, and it was cool. I was like, why do they have ashes on their head? I don't.
Well, and if you're a performative Christian and you see a different type of Christian performing in a more extravagant way, that's deeply triggering, I'm sure.
Yeah, and they weren't at Bible study.
Yeah,
every week in the morning.
They probably
were
weren't
just
even
normal about their faith.
They probably weren't even waiting until marriage to kiss.
No, they weren't.
No, they probably had
them, maybe
some of them. Probably not. That feels like a very strictly evangelical thing.
And then when I was in college, I remember being like more open to other expressions of Christianity. And so I went with a friend to a Good Friday service. And I was like, that was a bummer because it's very serious.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you're supposed to be like very solemn, like, oh, Jesus is dead. Now we're sad.
Big bummer.
And I was like, so what are we going to do now? Like after this, when you're like walking in the parking lot and everyone was like,
we're going to go cry. The Savior
I like
is dead.
wasn't allowed to ask what we were doing next because we were crying. And I was like, this sucks. And don't you all believe that he comes alive again?
Yeah, but we don't know that yet.
He is risen.
That's the mystery. Is that
he is risen
we're
in 2
performing
days.
History by pretending that we don't know he's going to resurrect in a couple days.
So I was like really embarrassed and annoyed. But as I got older, I would say I got really into the like, let's give something up and let's harm yourself more because that's how I was.
Yeah.
And I was very restrictive in general, as I talked about the past. So giving up more was always like another way to punish myself. And the idea is kind of like, oh, if I give up coffee or sugar or whatever, because I was already like not doing anything bad. Every time I crave it, I'll think about God and I'll pray. So that was like the idea of the quote unquote fast.
Yeah. I had heard that too, that the hunger pains or whatever it is are a cue to resubmit to God. And it's like, that's kind of part of it, is that you almost want to conjure discomfort because that is what brings you closer to God.
And that's what makes like reminds you that you need to depend on God.
Yes.
Yeah. So I participated in that until I think when I was a missionary in my group, we were doing Lent and I was like, you know what? I need to give up working out. And my mentor was like, good idea.
I remember you talking about that in that body image episode.
So I think that's like the last time I practiced Lent.
Okay.
Even as I like continued to be a Christian for a long time, like 10 more years, I like was recovering from eating disorder and just like stopped doing things. Like I get like a social media break. I think that's really cool for a lot of people. I've always been really involved in social media, like for a job. So it's like not an easy thing to take a break from.
Right.
Because you have to be in it. But little stuff like that, I think I think it's great. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Growing up, like I said, our immediate church didn't celebrate or observe Lent, but we had a very strong like Lutheran and Catholic culture around us. And so I was surrounded a lot by Lenten practices. And I think I had a little bit of FOMO.
Yeah.
So sometimes I would give up something for Lent, like chocolate or whatever. Or I think one time when I was a kid, I gave up gum.
Amazing. That was good enough for your mom.
But like my mom like didn't like that I celebrated Lent. Like she was like, why are you doing that? You're not Catholic. Like you could tell that she was visibly agitated, but couldn't specifically be like, you can't practice Lent.
Yeah.
Because it almost seemed like she thought I was doing it to get under her skin.
Were you?
Yes. Actually.
I'm just realizing it right now.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it was kind of like a hiding in plain sight thing. Because like either we're just
kill 2 birds, make God happy, make mom mad.
Yeah. Well, it also is one of those things where it's like, you can't get mad at me for practicing Lent.
You can't, mom.
But I know you don't
insane.
want me to practice Lent. So, wow, I'm learning a lot about myself, actually. But anyway, I loved all of the fish fries.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, there was
such a small town Minnesota thing.
I love a fish fry. There were so many fish fries around Lent.
Is it because the Catholics don't eat meat on Fridays?
Yeah, but
Lent?
they can have fish. So
my grandma was like, oh, well, let's go to McDonald's and get a fish sandwich.
Yeah.
And I was like, perfect thing to have in the car, Grandma.
Yes. Also, Culver's, very like Wisconsin Catholic,
Yes.
has like during Lent, like I think like more fish sandwiches. Which I think is,
But it would be like the community fish fry.
yes, it was very.
Which is go down to the church and get a fish sandwich.
Yes, and there I will say
At 5 o'clock.
I really liked that, and I
It's cute.
envied it because it felt almost like Ramadan, like
Yeah.
a whole culture
Yeah.
is doing this thing. I really
It's
miss
the whole little town.
Yeah, the whole little
Yeah.
town is at their little fish fry. So I don't know. That was really cool. I liked that. And I love freshwater fish. So it's just like it just really worked out
I just
for
love
me.
those walleye bones.
You don't like yeah. I don't
Those
love
little
the bones.
bones in your throat from the walleyes.
I do really like walleye though, if it can be. I want to say deboned, but that sounds really sexual. Am I wrong?
To be boned would be sexual. That's anti-sexual to be deboned.
But isn't what's more sexual than the absence of sex?
The absence of bones.
I guess.
It's gay.
That's it, for sure. So, although we did not specifically practice Lent in the evangelical church, there certainly was a really big fasting culture, which essentially Lent is a fast.
Yeah.
It's giving something up. So I felt, for me, I think maybe one of the reasons why I am now more drawn to Lent is the structure around it, because I felt like there was constant year-round pressure to fast, and there was no structure to it. And so it almost felt I felt guilty when I wasn't fasting, which Lent is nice because, like, for me, I typically give up drugging and drinking for Lent. But when it's not Lent, I don't worry about it too much.
Yeah.
But I also get to reset my relationship to substances and my tolerance level. So it's a nice little like recap, but I feel like because it's structured and consolidated, it doesn't consume my everyday thoughts in the way that fasting culture does. When you like, the more extreme your fasts are, the better. There's like a weird hierarchy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like having that consolidation, but
Okay, this always makes me think of the movie Chocolat.
okay.
It's with Juliette Binoche and Johnny Depp.
Okay.
And it's about like a little town in France. And I think it's France. And it's like a super Catholic town. And it's during Lent. And this woman moves to the town, a single mom, gasp, moves to this town. And she opens a chocolate shop during Lent. And the priest of the town is like very obsessed with everyone fasting, especially sweets. And so, it's like a big, him versus her type thing in this. It's really cute.
That does sound really cute.
Oh, wait, did you practice Lent?
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, next question.
Were there any follow-ups?
How was it?
Yeah. Do you still practice it? Is it something you kind of are glad to have behind you?
I don't still really practice it anymore. I mean, everyone else in my house does. I respect it. But yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, it was always little things like I specifically remember Lucky Charms, giving those up once when I was younger. But then
Name brand, not Marshmallow Matey.
I guess it was a name because that's the one we would always have in my house. But when my mom was still Lutheran before she converted to Catholicism, we would say like, "Oh, you get a Lutheran pass." So like, there'd always be like one day in Lent where, even if it wasn't a Sunday or anything, where like it would be okay to partake in whatever you gave up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so something that I've seen you and some of our friends do really well as you've like kind of deconstructed evangelicalism is reclaim some of the things you really loved about Christianity as you incorporate it into your life. So what are the things about Lent that you practice now or that you see now?
Yeah. I actually really like that question because that's maybe one of my favorite things about being, I don't want to say deconstruction because it's kind of an active thing, but maybe being on the other end of some of the harder, more difficult parts of deconstruction. I love how I'm able to return to certain things that used to literally traumatize me with fresh eyes, as if I've never been traumatized by it. And so there's certain practices in Christianity that I actually find a lot of joy in now, and Lent is one of them, which is wild because there was such a toxic fasting culture in the environment I grew up with. It's kind of a miracle that I would have a healthy relationship with Lent, but I love Lent. I think one of the reasons why I really like it is the church that I go to makes Lent so beautiful.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to any of like the Ash Wednesday or Black Friday or Good Friday services? Did you ever go Black Friday shopping at the church we used to go to? Good Friday,
I don't think so because I was the most involved during COVID. So it wasn't really, I don't think I even went till the summer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I think, so my pastor really likes Lent. And so I think that he puts a lot of passion and intentionality into it. And it shows because of how special that time of year is. But I think one of the things that I have really liked about it, that also kind of reveals some of the good parts of fasting when you get away from the restriction, is how spiritual discipline actually can yield really beautiful things in your life. It's kind of like, so like I said earlier, I give up drinking and drugs for Lent. And the unfortunate thing that I learn every time is that alcohol does kind of slow you down a little bit. Like I've given up, like I'm not drinking right now and I feel way sharper than I normally am. I've been able to get up earlier naturally. My work output is better. I'm happier. My mood is more regulated. All things I don't want to believe, but are ultimately true. Like I love to drink. I think that there's times where it's really fun and celebratory, but there are times where I'm probably drinking a little bit too much and it's starting to show up in my life in different ways. And so cutting it out for Lent is so clarity giving, and it kind of helps me reset and get some of the hooks of my vices out of my skin. Like I don't feel as bound by the dependency on, oh my God, I had a tough day, so I need to have like a glass of wine or 5 glasses of wine or whatever it is. It's never just one glass, let's be honest. And that can feel really liberating. And I think that one of the really cool connections that Cole Arthur Riley makes to Lent is the liberation of it. And I really love the embodiment of liberating yourself from a vice and something that holds you back. It really does feel like the mystery of it is that it does make me feel more spiritually alive, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that necessarily giving up stuff always makes me feel that way, but specifically for Lent, and I think it's also because I'm doing it within my church community. I think that there is spiritual and communal power to doing things with other people, according to the church calendar, creating meaning around it. I feel like that is such a rewarding thing for me. I remember one year so this was not Ash Wednesday, this was Good Friday, but it was after I was like pretty deep into Lent this one year. I went to a Good Friday service and I was really, really like angry and sad about some things that had happened in my life in the last few months. And I felt so bound by my resentment in that situation and how much pain it was causing me. And I remember kind of feeling agitated in the Good Friday service. But one of the things that our church does is it sings and repeats the last words of Christ on the cross. And every time it does that, it blows out a candle. And then by the end of the sermon, the church is completely dark. And then you sit in the darkness, which like resembles the tomb. And I remember going through that and feeling that in combination with having practiced Lent for the last probably 37 days or whatever it would have been at that time. All of a sudden things clicked with me. I don't know how to describe it because it's very like spiritually mystical. There was this like release of resentment, having that cathartic cry in the seat, having let go of, I think maybe, I'd given up alcohol that year, or, just like I always do. But there was this, it all of a sudden clicked with me. Like I did this spiritual discipline, this physical practice, and I connected it to this spiritual thing I wanted to do. and it just worked. Like it helped really heal that pain that I was in. And that's kind of the mystery of it, is that I don't really all know what is going down behind the scenes or behind the veil during Lent, but there is something really spiritually powerful. I think that's happening. So it was kind of long-winded.
No, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you think about all of these ideas in the story of Lent, like Jesus dying and coming back to life. Like, what do you think of that now? Like the stuff we wwere told as kids.
Like, do I think that he died and came back to life?
Yeah, and like, do you think it? Like, what do you think about Jesus? I really don't know what you think.
I can't believe that it's taken us
I don't know what you think.
almost 50 episodes to answer the question. What do you think about Jesus?
I know that you think he was a real person, but like, do you think he was God? Do you think he really came back to life? Was he in that little tomb? And then
Was he in that little tomb?
And then he hung out with Mary?
I think Jesus is the Son of God.
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
But how?
Well, I think that when a mommy and a daddy love each other.
Oh, seriously.
Well, not in this situation.
Just when a daddy has an idea.
Yeah, when a divine being spots a 13-year-old girl in ancient Judea. Well, I think of like the salvation and atonement story as being more political or like social. So I think that what Jesus came to do was like social liberation. And I think that there's a lot of the Bible is metaphor, but there is something, and this is where I think the mystery comes in. There is something that happens in the Gospels where there becomes this deviation from everything just being really metaphoric and symbolic, where we have 4 accounts of these Gospels. One of them isn't even written by a Jewish person. It's by like a Greek person. So it's a lot more like Western in how it's written. That's the Gospel of Luke, where all of a sudden like Jesus becomes this like real tangible figure. And so part of the mystery for me is like, I do pray to Jesus and I do like view him as God in some way, but I also am somebody who thinks that like we have God in us as well. Like Jesus is this person that incarnated the divine. But I think we can do that too, but he's like this symbol of it almost. Like, I know this isn't really making sense. It's all very mystical, but it does mean a lot more to me when I think that Jesus really did die and was resurrected. I also will say this, I might feel differently about this tomorrow. Like there are some days where I'm just like, no, I think this is just a really beautiful spiritual practice and blah, blah, blah. And then right now, Jesus, to be honest with you, when things are going hard, Jesus is more real to me.
Yeah.
And like things are really hard in the Twin Cities right now, and being in an environment that like somewhat resembles what it maybe would have been like to live in occupied Jerusalem, it makes the gospel feel more alive.
For sure.
Because like that was
like at least hopeful.
Yeah. So like I honestly feel like becoming like a woke person was my born again experience. And so like that kind of stuff, like Jesus feels more alive to me right now than he really ever has. And part of it is because like I'm in a lot of grief right now.
Okay. You said that you think he was socially liberating people. Did he?
I think he like probably showed them a path towards it, because it's I think that liberation is probably like a collective experience that happens generation after generation after generation. Like
Touching unclean women, like things like that. Are you saying like that's what is socially liberating about Jesus, or is there just like what do you mean?
Well, I think a lot of like the salvation message, and when he talks about like the paradigm of the kingdom of heaven flipping, like the first shall be last, I think he's talking about like power structures crumbling and like kings falling to their knees, and like the poor being like what is great. I think when he talks about the kingdom of heaven, I don't think he's necessarily talking about heaven as in the afterlife. I think he talks about bringing heaven on earth and what we can experience here right now.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of the stuff that the Pharisees believed was this exclusive divine, when will we see the kingdom of heaven come? That was always a big question. everything was like, here are the rules, everything is consolidated. And then Jesus comes in and he was just like, oh, the kingdom of heaven is already here, bitches. Like, you guys are so dumb. You don't even know that it's already happening right now. And a lot of it is just him being mad and being like, what you were waiting for is literally already here.
Yeah.
And so it feels to me a lot less divine or spiritual and more like, this is what's happening right now. Like, you are already living in the kingdom of heaven. And so I think that there are a lot of concepts that Christians historically, since the dawn of time, have over spiritualized that are actually just human experiences. And so I think that people over spiritualize a lot of what Jesus came to do, when I think that a lot of it is the liberation of people, especially oppressed and marginalized people. I think that is the kingdom of heaven on earth.
To them.
Yes. And speaking truth to power and dismantling power systems, I think is the radiant truth throughout, especially the gospels, but in scripture. I don't necessarily think it's like a accept Jesus into your heart and then you'll go to heaven kind of a thing. I think it's like liberate the poor and the oppressed and the Spirit of God will like surround you.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot so much. I just like am really curious what you think. What happened? Like we don't know a lot. I don't know a lot from like, you know, him rising again, and then, you know, the gospels kind of end and it goes on into the epistles and things like that. But like in those 100 to 500 years, like all I remember when I look back at what I learned about the Bible is that like all of his followers were killed. A lot of them really gruesomely. Like, I'm curious if I'm missing something of like him, Jesus dying, actually doing something in the years after.
Like the impact of his death
Yeah.
afterward. I mean, I know that what historically followed was like rebellion.
Okay.
Like, it's not, I know we already talked about the Maccabean revolt. I don't think it's that one, but I think that
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think that the Maccabean revolt may have been before, but I can't remember for sure. But there was a lot of like political upheaval in Judea that happened after.
Because honestly, like all I ever knew was a bunch of people writing fucking letters to each other.
Yeah.
And then we have to read it like it's for us today. And no one's supposed to be gay. You know, and like all this just dumb shit that like wasn't translated well or had someone's agenda in it. So it's hard for me to like really think about it. And this is the first time I've ever thought about it.
Yeah.
Like Jesus came to save people and to change and like shake up the world. And I don't know if I believe that anymore, but like he was still a person. I believe that. And like, did anything change? You know, like I have a hard time reconciling because I really never learned that. I just learned all this shit that Paul was writing to everyone about.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in prison.
The world
I'm not.
certainly changed.
Yeah.
Like over the course of generations.
Of course. But was it because of him?
For better or worse, because I think that
Yeah.
if he were to come back now and he would see, you know, the poster children for his religion and the way that they're ruining the fucking country, he'd be like, are you fucking kidding me?
He'd do the same thing.
Yes, he would turn the tables in the churches that their mega churches
And they'd be like, kill him.
Yeah, and they would kill him.
Exactly the same thing.
Yeah, yes. He would be in an ICE detention center currently as we speak.
100%.
Absolutely.
Dead.
Yeah. And dead. No, I don't know. I mean, I think that also history is very cyclical.
Yep.
And so empires
Sadly.
rise and fall. I think that when he was roaming the earth, an empire was falling or on the cusp of it. I think an empire is falling right now. And so I just think that there are times in culture where like the pressure point of like this zeitgeist shift is like about to explode. It's like an extinction burst. Have you ever heard of those? Where it's like something is about to give or die. And so it just like explodes. And so I think it was like Jesus, people like Jesus or movements Jesus like come at times like that. That's where the church is formed or these not even just the Christian church. I'm just talking about movements in general are a result of like the extinction burst of an empire. I think that they just like, it's like injustice is so severe, it just is like the scream of people, kind of. And then, so like what came after Jesus was probably collapse and scatter. Because I think that he was like a result of like an extinction burst, kind of.
Yeah.
And then Christianity kind of became like the desert fathers. People, like the Christians were dispersed in the diaspora and they weren't powerful yet. So they had to have monasteries in the deserts and create all of these works. And then the church built and became a superpower. But I think it was really scattered at first for a while.
Probably better that way.
Probably. We could probably use a good scattering right now.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. We could probably use a diaspora. So I'm not gonna, this is not an altar call to clarify. I was about to say it's an invitation, but that also is very evangelical too.
It's an idea.
Yes, I would like to invite the listener, the parishioner, to, and this is going to hit in the middle of Lent, maybe even towards the end. I'd be curious. I would love to hear a little bit about what y'all, if y'all practice Lent or if y'all believe in giving up anything, what that looks like. And I would also love to encourage people to consider, like, is there, and I wouldn't say don't give up something just because you like it.
Yeah.
Give up something because it is an affliction or it's ailing you, or like there was one year I gave up negative self-talk for Lent. There was also another year that I gave up talking negatively about men for Lent. That felt really good.
Yeah.
I just decentered men for Lent, basically, is what it was.
I just won't talk about it. Like,
yeah, because I didn't have a lot of good thoughts about them, so I couldn't replace them with good thoughts. I just couldn't think about them.
Yeah.
That was awesome, y'all. Yeah.
You can also commit to a discipline.
Commit to a discipline of some kind, but not like a lot of people approach Lent like some juice cleanse or 75 hard or whatever it is. I don't remember what it's called. Some type of big, I'm going to work out all the time. Like, don't do it like self-improvement. Release something negative from your life. If doom scrolling is ruining your mental health right now, how about you release it for a little bit?
Yeah.
If
Maybe I should give up applying to jobs. That's like really ruining my life.
Why not? Give up being poor. How about that?
I'm going to give up my brown hair.
Give up your brown hair. Or like, here's one. Like, okay, here's one. I think a lot. I was just talking to a friend. A lot of times for single people, we pressure ourselves that we have to be swiping on the apps all the time and going on these dates that are like literally ruining our mental health. Give up the fucking apps for a little bit for yourself. Just to like, just release yourself of the pressure. Like, you need to be putting yourself out there in any capacity, and then just see what blossoms or what seeds are planted in that period of life. I would encourage people to do it. I'm not saying anyone needs to do it. I'm saying that as somebody who has significant religious trauma and who has been through it when it comes to religious control, doing this practice has been so life-giving for me. And that's as someone who, like, restriction was also a really big part of my religious experience. This is life-giving to me. So anyway, that would be my altar call.
Amazing.
My pastor also says this too. Consider adding something to your life for Lent. I don't like to do that.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. But I think that for a lot of people who grew up with restriction, adding something, a joy or a pleasant thing to their life is a form of self-control.
Yeah.
Because they're addicted to
pain,
self-masochism. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, if you are giving something up for Lent, please leave a comment so all the Christian nationalists who have never seen the inside of a church can harass you on YouTube.
Yes. They're coming out of the woodwork. So if you're a parishioner and you get bombarded with whatever. Oh, also if you feel like you're being harassed, just let us know and we'll block them. We try to keep up on the comments, but sometimes it's hard to.
See an American flag right away, blocked.
Yeah, if you see or AI Charlie Kirk slop, that's typically, someone you want to stay away from.
Or an eagle in general.
An eagle flying out of the Twin Towers. with a teardrop coming down from its eye, and Charlie Kirk is riding on the back, and it says "Never forget," and then below that it says "Killed all because of words."
What?
That means that you need to block that person.
Where is this happening?
I mean, I feel like I just kind of hit a few different tropes with that one. Didn't you ever see all the memes with Charlie Kirk that says he was killed all because of words?
No,
and then it's a
stay
photo
away
of
from
him,
Charlie Kirk.
Jesus, and Abraham. Like, yeah, those are maybe my favorite ones. What do all these people have in common? They were killed because of words. That's how dumb people are.
Oh my God.
Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. It's so fun.
All right. Well, this has been a time.
Yeah, I've had a good time.
Time to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully.
The spirit of the ghost in the photo that I saw compelled me.
All right. Well, blessed are the listeners, for they shall not be led into temptation during their 40 days of Lent. Find us on praisebetopod.com on the web and praisebetopod on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, and Patreon. It is finished.
It is finished.
Bye.
Bye-bye.